in Homabay that our brother will be making a formal application to become the next chairperson of the African Union Commission, itself a successor to what used to be Organization of African Unity. The closest time our region, our leadership of that continental body was during the times of the Prime Minister then of Tanzania, Salim Ahmed. And when his candidature was proposed that time, you may not know, this is history, to become the UN Secretary General, the Americans vetoed his candidature. Mwalimu Nyerere then said, well, they will still have to deal with our son from the point of view of the Secretary General of the Organization of African Unity. That's how Dr. Ahmed Salim became the Secretary General of the OAU. Now, under the Constitutive Act, is a bigger and an enhanced body of African leadership. And I know our brother going to that position, you do several things. First of all, he's a Pan-Africanist, and we know him. He has worked for transformation, for deepening of our democratic gains. And I heard our brother Jim, and I wish, Jim, you could come out as clearly as you always do, that there's an attempt at clawback on devolution. And that I can tell you, we will not allow as Azumio. Kenyans must know for sure from here that what you are saying is there's no vacuum, absolutely no vacuum. In fact, we have up to April for Raila Amolo Odinga to submit his documents. But of course, before then, he has to traverse the continent to look for votes. And this I'm sure he will do. When he was the African High Representative for Infrastructure, he did a lot of that. So the name and the name recognition is, I think, his biggest asset. And I know the East African region will give him support because he needs this. It is now, after so many years since Dr. Ahmed Salim, it is the turn of East Africa. And I think our negotiating teams in Addis Ababa must make it very clear to the rest of the continent, because this is not a given. Our brothers to fight for it. And we all have to fight for it. Let us not assume that he's just getting it, because there could be other candidates. But we believe as a region, we have the best candidate. We issued that statement as Azumio before he left for Germany, and we said that we will stand by him. And we said his candidature is bipartisan. Let nobody say he's a Kenya Kwanza candidate, because that is not true. And let nobody also say he's an Azumio candidate, because that is equally not true. Raila Odinga now rises above our partisan politics when it comes to negotiating and defending national interest. Therefore, I congratulate President William Ruto. I saw somebody, brother, on a tweet, sending something after we know photos these days speak. Have you ever seen speaking photographs? Simba Arati saw one. I asked my brother, how many cows did Museveni give you? Those Ankole cattle. And he told me, he promised 50. Next time I will accompany you. Perchance I can get 2, but I don't know whether they can survive in Ukambani. The important thing is pictures speak. And we want to ask Kenyans to relax about this matter. I'm calling you to relax about it. Stop speculation, and some of it are necessary. You know, they have said sibling rivalry can actually kill. We have seen conversation, very unhealthy conversation, in our local media. Some of it attributed to our own people within Azumio coalition, going for each other's jugular. Others who have never associated with us, my brother, and we know them, never associated with us, they are now in the forefront, trying to see if perchance they can create a rift within Azumio. We are telling them that will not happen by God's grace. We are going to stand with our brother, and I think I know his heart. because we spend a lot of time together. And you people of Homabay, people of South Nyanza, people of Nyanza, including Kishi people, have no fear that we are in this. I cannot see how a brother can drop a baton when it comes to safeguarding the interests, particularly the democratic credentials that are part of his history, and that he would support dictatorship anywhere in Africa, including his own country. So if that is a Raila Odinga, I know I have no fear. I hope I'm convincing you that there's need, absolutely no need for fear. And if you sometimes feel overcome and overwhelmed in whichever form, and you are missing Baba, if you are missing Baba, my friend Oparanya, there's Uncle Steve-O. Yeah, so we should not miss each other. And then there's nothing in Raila Odinga to miss, I can tell you that. Knowing him, he'll be traversing the continent like a colossus. But please, remember the things that he has talked about, which he cannot now perhaps speak about because he needs William Ruto's vote. So he cannot now say, Zakayo, Shuka, Chini. We will say that on his behalf. My brother, I'll give you a little discussion we had with Governor Wairia. Derrit was not with us, and also Eugene Wamalwa, and we were asking ourselves, what are we going to say in Homabay on this matter? So it was Steve Mule who brought a very funny situation. He said, and after that I'm going to invite him, he said, now you know this thing about Zakayo and the tree. And these are high taxes about which Governor Orengo has spoken. These levies, which are convoluting the situation even at the level of devolution, they are actually all from the national government. All those levies. They are not to be found locally. So they are all taxes, including the infamous, and I say it unapologetically and boldly, the infamous housing tax, which Parliament passed. All right? I say my brother now cannot talk that language. We will talk it. Now the trouble is if the muti kikatwa, and then to find our brother is on the same branch na Zakayo, tutakata muti ama hapana? We don't want our brother to come down. That is a joke. That's what I'm telling you. Relax about this situation. Raila Odinga needs everybody's vote and everybody's prayers. Before I came, my brother, I met Ambassador Amina Mohammed. As you know, she ran for that post and lost to Mohammed Faki by only 2 votes. Mohammed Faki from Chad, 2 votes. We want a situation, she's willing to even now show you, there's a beaten, she has very committed to say she will do and show you wherever and wherever, so you can get your 2/3 majority at round 1. Tumpigie baba makofi jamani. So, with those remarks, having said that the national government must also, you know, there's been that argument. You sometimes go to Gachagua's office to argue whether you should get your 349 billion. There should be no argument. No argument. And this, you know, transmission of the money from the national government to the county government should be seamless, should be timely. You don't want to starve governors. They become very unpopular because they are not able to do their health programs and others. Blame them on them. We will be able to call out at every stage. Provided you give us information, we are there for you. We are there for our country. Kwa hivyo tusimame tukukaribishe ndugu Raila Amolo Odinga to make his remarks. Banda sisikii jamani.
In the heart of America.